Yo, welcome back. We got UFC 306, The Sphere. I do want to say I'm sorry. I had a bit of a nappy nap, you could say. For me, it's going to be 2 more sleeps, but for you, it's 1. And to some of you, good morning. We got UFC No Chase. The reason why I see this card being really successful is a couple things, right? You got The Sphere, $20 million, Mr. Emmy, Grammy, nominee, Oscar, Dana White himself put into this shit. I mean, think about it. The dude is making a movie. Would you want to be in a movie if your ass getting knocked out or just folding or giving up? So I'm expecting these fighters to be on their best game. I'm expecting them to want to show up and show out. Go for that knockout. Go for that submission. Take a risk. Don't stay behind a jab and a steep kick and, fighters that do that. And lastly, there's a lot of camaraderie happening behind the scenes. Fighters with other fighters that they've either trained with or have a big piece to their story, friends and family. These fighters, unless you got a staph infection or unless you just cut your fucking eyebrow 2 weeks ago and decided to record so your opponent knew exactly where to punch you, I think everyone should have a fair shot of winning their fights. Kicking off the early prelim, we got Rosas Jr., my little bro, versus Arichi Long. See the fight not going the distance. I also have a hard time with the betting line. 1.5 rounds, I like to typically leave for finishers of higher weight classes. Heavyweights, light heavyweights. Those are my 1.5 round unders. I'll take my Sergeys and my Tom Aspinalls all fucking day. My Derek Lewis's, historically. But with Rosas Jr., I'm going to lean submission for him. It's a negative 185. Look, I don't see the point in money line with the kid at negative 1,000 odds right now, unless you just need the 4th pick to extend the boost. But no, I like the kid. I think he's here for a while. He's got such a long time in his fight career to hit his prime, and I could easily see him becoming a double champ and part of a bunch of historic cards like this one. So what a better kickoff to the movie, to the monumental night that is about to unfold. I like the pick with Rosas Jr. getting things fired up. Next on the card's a bit of a pick'em. We got Edgar Shrez versus Joshua Van. I like Joshua's striking. I think he's capable of achieving greater ranks in the flyweight division. He's small, though. It's almost like if he had an atom weight, it would be best. He lost his last time out against Charles Johnson, Energy. And, of course, he turned it up on him on the 3rd round, where the guy's got incredible gas tanks. So I'm not counting Joshua out just because of that. I do know with Edgar, his road to success is probably keep the fight in the clinch, work his way to the ground, and aim for that submission. If he doesn't get it, then I see Van hitting him by knockout or decision. Next, we got Yasmin Haragay versus Ketlin Souza. I see the fight going incredibly favorable for Yasmin. I think her striking is pretty dangerous. In fact, the odds on this have her at like plus 275 by knockout. Unders 2.5 rounds at plus 250. So I'm going to play with that. I think it's a great extension to some parlays. And I think she is willing to risk it. It's Noche. She's got the great opportunity I just mentioned. This is an opportunity that she probably may not ever see even remotely close again in her fight career, right? So I see her hitting one of these first, if not second round knockouts. And up until this point, if we haven't had fireworks, here's where it changes. We got Ignacio versus Torres. Both are finishers. Ignacio's road to success is keeping at range, striking. He's got incredible kicks. He's 6'3" at 155 pounds. And you got Torres, who will mix it in. He's either going to knock you out or choke you out. And those are my favorite kind of fighters. This fight won't drag on past 2.5 rounds. And honestly, the coolest thing about lightweight division is they have like that perfect physique where they just can throw each other the fucking kitchen sink or two and have it go past what you see in the heavyweight and light heavyweight division where you're just like a death touch, like a Sergey, one and done. I hit you with a jab, fight's over. So I like this from a spectator standpoint. This is a pop and popcorn fight, as my friends at Fight Night Picks used to say. But yeah, it's guaranteed to crack. And also, I got Irene coming up in her fight against Norma Dumont. I think Irene Aldana's got a good mix. And again, that Mexican boxing, you're going to see a whole lot of it this card because it's full of Mexican. But Irene's got like 7 first-round knockouts. Her success is going to be keeping the fight on the feet. Norma's definitely got to take the fight to the ground, try to win the control time there. Irene's also never been submitted, so she could be the first. I have this fight going to a decision ultimately, but I would not be too surprised if a knockout was landed by Irene in the first 2 rounds. Kicking off the main card, we got Ronaldo Rodriguez and Ode Osbourne. Holy shit, did this need to happen? This fight didn't really have much at the presser, right? It was just questions to pretty much everyone at the tables, except for Joshua Van. Finally, you get a kid who shows up, who wants to use that space to make it about him. He made one of the most expensive cards of all time about himself, and most people have never even seen him fought once. Let me tell you about Ronaldo. He's a finisher. He likes his knockouts. He likes his submissions. Ode Osbourne as well. Both fighters have hardly seen judges. The difference is Ode is typically the one getting knocked out or submitted. My boy Rodriguez here has never even been finished once. So he's more than confident he's getting it done, and holy shit, I just want to see it. But at the end of the day, as my friend Max Holloway used to say, we're going to go double method. We're going to stick Rodriguez, knockout or submission, and it's going to happen under 2.5 rounds. I'm going to hit you guys at the end of the video with a nice little parlay on my double method. So if you're interested in that, let's ride. Let's fly together. It's free. Moving up the main card, we got Esteban Rigovic versus Daniel Zellhuber. Another great fight. I like the matchup. I think Esteban's road to success is trying to make it more of a grappling exchange. Work for the submission. Zellhuber's going to use his range and height to try to kick at range and steep and jab and win his way to a decision. I don't see Zellhuber winning by a finish, but I do see him winning by decision, which is why he's my pick. I think if Esteban can pull the upset, it's by double method knockout or submission. But hey, as far as underdogs on the card, pretty close pick 'em here. I like Esteban. He's got the plus 650 for the knockout, plus 2,000 for the submission, which is just disrespectful. I understand my man's been hitting his knockouts since joining the UFC, but that doesn't mean he's not a killer and can't get it done the other way. Again, I'm going to go Zellhuber based on keeping the range. If that gets taken away from him, bet your ass Esteban's looking more favorable as this fight progresses, and I might keep an eye on those live odds. Let's just say that. Look, guys, before we get on to the next prediction, I just want to start by saying there's zero biasism in why I'm choosing Diego Lopez. I think he's a really great fighter. You know, he offers both disciplines, and he's going to basically finish Ortega in a way that we've never seen before. Or have we? Max Holloway, Yair Rodriguez. Diego Lopez has the striking capability to knock out Ortega. What I think is interesting is he also might be the first person to submit Ortega as well. And zero biasism, just throwing it out there. Lopez is like a plus 180 if you did want to go double method by finish. If you wanted to be the first to submit Ortega, plus 500 there. And Ortega isn't looking bad himself at plus 380 double method knockout or submission. The chances are that if Ortega did win, he probably isn't winning the first 2 rounds, but maybe Lopez gasses out in the third and finds his shot. It's going to be a hell of a fight, and I love this one. We got Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko. This fight is crazy. I like it. Even if Valentina, as the underdog, which is crazy to say, pulls the upset, it'd still be a tied trilogy, just like the Moreno and Figgy fights. And so I'm looking at the odds, and it's making me laugh. Valentina, if she gets a finish at all, it's plus 1,000 odds. And if Alexa Grasso, even though she has crazy good boxing, was to get a knockout or TKO, that's like plus 950. But because what happened in that first fight, they have her at plus 450 by submission. And let's face it, if you go back and look at a lot of Shevchenko's striking, she loved that spinning back kick. She loved that spinning fist, elbow. And no, she won't expose her back again. She learned. And so I don't see this fight going the distance. That's plus 180 under 4.5 rounds. I saw in an interview Alexa really wants to finish by TKO. And yeah, that's the mentality I feel both fighters have going into this is I want to disprove how the results of these other ones were. For Shevchenko, she really looks back at that first fight like, look, I was beating your ass and you took an opportunity to win at the very end. That doesn't make you better than me. The draw obviously didn't go her way, despite a lot of people had it 3-2 for Shevchenko. So both fighters going into this wanting to not let it go to the judges, be dominant and kind of sign off on, I am better than you. And so for Shevchenko, I could see her wanting to play it safe, work on the takedowns, keep on side control, not really work to advance the positions. And Alexa Grasso, she's working on damage. She's working on the finish. I think that's the fight we're going to see. I think Valentina really wants to play it safe and is sure she gets the title back. Meanwhile, Grasso's planning something much bigger. It's like, I just want to knock you out. I don't want to take you out. She's more hungrier, I think. But because either fighter can really get it done all three ways, method's a little harder here, but I do like the idea of distance being under 4.5 with each of the fighters having something to prove. Kicking things off on your main card, you got Sugar Sean O'Malley defending strap against Merab. This is a fight that should have happened the first time around. I think O'Malley cherry-picked just to be able to say, hey, I got a defense. He took the fight with Cheeto knowing that it would go exactly how it did. Merab's a different beast. He's got crazy cardio, crazy stamina, and he marches forward the entire time, picking you up and slamming you down. Not really much of a finisher. Which cracks me up, by the way. If you look at his odds, his submission's like plus 2,000. His knockout's like plus 900. But then decision's like plus 180. Mind you, he's the dog. O'Malley's submission looks crazy, by the way. It's plus 1,800. But his knockout's plus 180. Now, Sugar Show, we love those knockouts. We get them more times than not. The thing with Merab coming in is he is very acceptable to getting hit with a big knee. But also, if he does put his head in place and starts to pursue that takedown, he's giving his neck up to O'Malley, which could totally punish if all these things that are said to be rumored about O'Malley's grappling capabilities are true. That plus 1,800 could cash out huge for somebody. I'm definitely throwing some parlays to have some fun with it and sprinkling a little just as a single method. Am I expecting a hit? Not against Merab. Merab's a different beast, but he is kind of in a position now where maybe he doesn't want to sit even further with O'Malley and get struck, get lit up. He could be bleeding. He could be doing everything possible not to just be at range and to put himself into really bad situations. He's been rocked by far less strikers, far less technical strikers, and, his gas tank could not be there for him for the first time in his fight career because the dude's got a staph infection, and that antibiotic takes that away from you. You lose your stamina. Now, if he shows up and wrestles all 5 rounds and dunks fucking Sugar on his head all fight, then he's even more of a machine than we thought. Like, that is absolutely crazy. And he might even, in my opinion, start to surpass someone like Nate Diaz in terms of cardio king. Like, that would be crazy to have it. So we will see. I'm very interested to see how this fight pursues. Originally, I thought Merab could be the answer, just like Aljo was, like someone who can really come in, get a hold of O'Malley, and not allow him to sit at range and strike. But we haven't been able to see it so far. In my heart, I'd be really happy if Merab wins. From a betting perspective, kind of staying away from him quite a bit. It's so funny watching these interviews with Sugar, his opportunities to have his big one-liners and things. Yeah, he made a great joke on Merab stuttering the fucking rambling, but like, dude, you're like an NPC with a microphone and they're dumping millions into making you a star. And you're doing millions outside of the UFC to make yourself look as if you're as big of a UFC fighting star as you are. Because you're sucking Jake Paul's dick, getting all your little kiddos on Fortnite to donate to your Twitch and whatever the fuck else, dude. I don't really care. Just to conclude this fucking piss boil I'm on, I don't think you're the biggest star, bro. And a win over Merab won't do it for me. I look at someone like Ilya right now, the way he came in, his following, the documentary, the greatest featherweight of all time, came through and ran through his shit. Something Max couldn't do. It's like, okay, like respect. And the guy was smooth with it. Conor McGregor, I think, was lined up to be the main event of the Sphere. Things fell through back in June. They rescheduled. Chandler finally fucking moved on to do Bronx. That fight's going to be a banger. Can't wait to hang out with these motherfuckers on a weekend. No, we're here with you. This is your show. This is your movie. Sugar. I'm just fucking with you, bro. I got you, dude. I got you. But no, it's going to be a great card. I'm looking forward to it. Something new and exciting for us fans. Can't even imagine being there, obviously, in the Sphere alone. That's its own incredible experience. So, yeah, let's just make the best of it and hope everything goes great. Everyone comes home to their families healthy, first and foremost. And let's go into my predictions on these parlays and let's roll. Here's my under parlay. Bit of a long shot with both of the 4.5 unders, but I'm pretty confident these other two are within the distance. I like swapping the Esteban back and forth with some other options. In this case, it's plus 550, pretty crazy odds. And on a long shot, adding like Rosas by decision or submission, that could extend your parlay up to 1,000 pretty easily. And personally, I like to take this week's fighters and merge them with future fighters that maybe the odds aren't going to be as nice by the time people get to them. I took Cal Braulio, added Diego Lopez and Alexa Grasso, made that a 3-leg. Anyways, that's going to conclude this giant-ass rant, breakdown, prediction, whatever the fuck it's been. It's morning, I know that, so good morning. It ain't even nighttime anymore. And yeah, we had a great-ass time in and out of the house, grabbing some smokes, grabbing some drinks. We always do it best. And as always, we got a lot more in store for you today. Check these cards. And yeah, hit me up if you need that friend promo. I'll be happy to share it. You get bonus bets like the one I featured at the end, and I do too, and matching deposits. Let's roll with this shit.